Good evening, everybody. Good evening. All right, so a lot of information. You guys are thinking about this, that, and a big picture. So right now, this was great. Sal got us prepped. We're getting ready to get in the water. Okay, we're getting in the boats and we're paddling out. So I want to talk about some different causes, possible causes of the huli or swamping. So a huli, as you remember, is when the canoe capsizes, and swamping is when the canoe fills up with water. So as we're paddling out of the harbor, we've talked about the conditions, the swell. You need to be paying attention to what it looks like out the harbor and all the conditions and everything. Typical causes are going out around mile buoy and turning into the wind, and then coming back around and taking on waves and water, or having the waves and the wind getting under the ama and flipping the canoe. Other ways that this can happen are just paddling along and waves continually coming into the canoe. Another situation is we paddle along the coast, and there's surf along the coast. So I've talked about this before, and it's great to have the steers person be a surfer. That way they understand. When you're paddling along the coast, you have an understanding of the surf and the waves and how they work. So it's really important for the steers person to have an understanding of how the waves work in the ocean and how the waves work when they come to the coast. So, being racers, we like to catch bumps. So sometimes we can catch bumps out in the ocean. There can be a tendency for the bumps to get behind the canoe and push the back end of the canoe over one way or the other. And if the canoe is angling a little bit on a bump or on a wave a little bit to the left, the back end of the canoe will push to the right, and then the canoe will end up being parallel to the wave, and the wave can get under the ama and flip it. So that's a very common way to huli the canoe out in the ocean. In the surf zone, a similar thing can happen where you maybe try and catch a wave surfing, and if you're going a little bit left and the back end gets pushed to the right, same thing can happen where you'll be parallel and the wave will get under the ama and you'll huli. Another thing that can happen is if you're surfing a wave in the surf zone and you go into the right, the white water or the breaking wave can fill up the canoe that way. Okay, so there's different ways to deal with swamping or a huli. And there's a lot of different ways out there depending upon the situation. There's a lot of different videos, and they say doing it in different ways. Sal gave the way that we are now teaching the club to do the huli. So that I'm not going to reiterate that too much, but I want to show a couple of videos that we have on our website. It's good to kind of get the visual, so if you could show this, Dwayne, that would be great. Yeah, go ahead and do that one first. So some of these things are the way that we explain to do the huli, and some of the ways we are doing differently.
So once the ama is not on the water, the boat can flip very quickly. Things that can lift the ama off the water include paddlers leaning to the right, usually while paddling on the right side. Waves, boat wakes, or strong wind on the left can cause the ama to pop. Steersperson poking hard on the right side, or a strong draw stroke on the right. A huli might be prevented by a quick reaction of crew members doing a hip check against the left side of the boat without interrupting the stroke. When the huli is done, the boat is upside down. The ama is on the right side, and the paddlers are in the water on the same side as the ama, right. Huli recovery. Steersman first calls for a head count to make sure everyone is okay in order seat 1 through 5. Either have the paddlers tuck their paddles inside the boat under the seats, or 1 and 6 hold the paddles. If there is a weaker swimmer, they may be designated to hold all the paddles. 1 and 6 go to the bow and stern. If there is a strong wind shock, they should try to turn the boat so the ama is on the downside when hulied. After righting the boat, the ama will help keep waves from refilling the hull. 3 and 4 step on the upside down iacos and climb up onto the hull straddling it. 2 and 5 go out to the end of the iacos by the ama and prepare to lift it by the iaco. 3 and 4 swing both legs over and put a foot on the stub of the iaco on the side away from the ama, and if they can reach it, grab the iaco on the far side to help lift it, so they are laying over the hull. 6 calls out, "Ready, lift!" 3 and 4 put weight on the iaco stub, while 2 and 5 push hard up on the iaco near the ama. Ideally, when the ama is straight above the hull, a slight pause to the roll gives time for 1 and 6 to lift the hull and let some of the water out of the boat before fully righting. As the ama comes down, 3 and 4 should try to slow the landing by pushing up on the iacos as they come down. 3 and 4 hold on to the gunnel and iaco to stabilize the boat, while 2 and 5, or other seats designated by steersperson, climb in and bail like crazy toward the ama side of the canoe. When enough water is out, 6 will tell 3 and 4 to enter the boat and assist bailing. When safe, 1 and 6 will enter the boat, and the crew begins to paddle toward shore while still bailing.
Showing this for years, and part of it makes sense and part of it doesn't. If you're standing in knee-deep water, a lot of that makes sense. But that's usually not the case, unless you've gotten washed into the surf and you're close to the beach. You would go ahead and do it that way. So some of the things that are different there from the way that we would do it out in the ocean are that when we're flipping the canoe, we're gonna have seats 2 and 5 grab hold of the side of the canoe as it comes up from the water and put their knee into the side of the canoe and lean back. That makes the ama land gently on the water. So we're going to show a video for that in just a moment. Some things that you don't want to do when you're getting ready to huli is you don't want to be like a cat and say, "I'm not going to get wet," and try to climb over the boat, because you're going to end up getting wet anyway. Also, you don't want to jump way far out, because then the ama is going to come and hit you on the head as you're huliing. So basically, as you're huliing, you just want to go over, head first into the water, and hang onto your paddle. So go ahead and show the next video, please, Wayne. So, okay, this is going to be a huli. So I want you to watch seat 2 here. Seat 2 is Superman. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. It's like a cat. Okay. So we don't want to be like Superman, because most people aren't Superman. Some people keep playing the video, please. Don't rewind, but just keep playing and make it big. Thank you. So I want you to watch seat 4 now while I'm talking. So we don't want to be like Superman, because most people aren't Superman. And Superman's going to get wet anyway, and it doesn't make any difference that he ended up on the upside down of the canoe. So when you go over, you want to go down head first, But seat number 4, he's like, I'm going to be like Superman. So watch him. Watch seat 4. He ends up, he's like, I'm going to be like Superman. Dun, 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 dun. Oh no, I'm not Superman. And the Yaku is coming over, coming down, right on top of his head. Okay? So we don't want to do that. Just go with it. Head first into the water, then come up, put your hand up above your head. Okay, if you could show the next video, please. And you can just keep the sound off and make it full screen. So one of the things that we're doing differently from the original video, so they Huli, and they're going to have seats 3 and 4 climb up. So everybody sounds off first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody's going to stow their paddle up under the seat so it floats up in the boat, and then forget about it. Seats 3 and 4 are going to climb up. On the Yakus, climb over, put their foot on a short piece called the Muku. They may need help so they don't slip off. And then on 3, they're going to pull it back over towards them. In the meantime, seat 5, grab that PFD over there, grab that water bottle, and then seats 2 and 5 then are going to get ready to catch the gunnel as it comes up out of the water and put their knee into it and lean back so the arm lands carefully. In the meantime, seat 6 and seat 5 are positioning the canoe either parallel to the waves or into the waves and wind, depending upon the situation. Okay, so they're flipping it over. Seats 2 and 5 hanging onto the gunnel and put their knee into it and leaning back, and they can actually stop it. Okay? So seats 3 and 4 don't have to catch the Yaku or anything like that. So that's the main change. Okay, you go ahead and turn that off. All right. And the steers person is always in charge. We want to have one voice, as Sal said. When it comes to swamping, when the canoe gets completely filled up with water, you may want to Huli the canoe. If you're in the surf zone, you may want to have the canoe going straight into the waves and wind, because that thing, when it's parallel and 45 feet long, when it's parallel to the breaking waves, is like a solid redwood log like this that weighs tons, and it will mow you over and hurt you. So you want to get away from the canoe if you're in that situation. If you're in that situation and you can get it turned into the water, the waves and the wind, you have less of a surface area. You just have the point of the canoe. So even one person or 2 people can push that canoe directly into the surf, and you're going to be okay. If you're out in the middle of the ocean and you've got 25 knot winds and 6-foot wind swell at 6 seconds, you're probably going to want to be parallel to those waves when you're trying to Huli. Because when you flip it back over, you've got the ama sort of protecting from the winds and the waves, so it's not filling up. And the whole canoe is rising and lowering with the swell, as opposed to when you are going perpendicular directly into the swell. The canoe wants to stay level with the ocean, and the swell as it's coming is however high it is, and as the canoe stays down in the water, that wave is going to come and fill up the canoe the whole way down, and you're never going to be able to bail it out. So depending upon the situation, you may orient the canoe differently, and you're always going to be listening to your steers person. So I'm going to keep it relatively simple like that for right now. So any questions regarding Huliing and swamping, or anything else that we have covered or maybe not covered this evening? Yes?
What is seat 1's job? I thought 1 and 6 kind of hold the boat. I thought you said 5 and 6 are doing.
No, 1 and 6 are going to hold the canoe, are going to orient the canoe one direction or the other. So if I'm seat 6, I may say, hey, seat 1, push the canoe, the front of the canoe that direction. I'm going to push this direction. So we're trying to rotate the canoe. Yes. Questions? Wow. Yes, Rich.
And I've heard about, before, like, since 2 and 5, resting the fall of the canoe to the other side.
Yes.
Grabbing the gunnels and putting your knee into it, putting a lot of stress on it, can separate it at the seats. I would think you would do it, closer to where the yakos are, the by, that's a braced area of the canoe. It's just one.
Well, seats 2 and 5 that would be doing that, they're right next to the yako.
Right, but I'm just saying, that's something that wasn't really specified in the. Yeah.
I don't think that's such a big deal when you think of the physics of the weight of the canoe.
Yeah.
You're only compensating the weight of the alma. And you're kind of rotating. Yeah, there may be a lot of water inside the canoe, but that's not really affecting anything. All that mass is rotating like this.
And then for people that haven't, had a lot of experience hooling, could you just kind of discuss that you might have to re-hoolie it if it's too full of water? Because sometimes it's the fastest way to dump water out.
Sure, I thought I had mentioned that briefly, that in the case of swamping, if you get too much water in and you can't bail it, you can just ask people to get out and hoolie the canoe.
Right.
And then treat it like a regular hoolie and do that whole drill with everybody knows their job with their seat position. Okay, more questions?
Awesome, thank you guys.
Okay.